Not every surname has a tartan, and Lowland Scots didn't wear them.
Or the opposite side of that, you know, every surname, I'm Scottish, or I have Scottish heritage. Therefore, you know, what's my tartan? What do you mean I don't have a tartan? Mm-hmm. My heritage is Scottish. Mm-hmm. We get that one on occasion. I don't know how often you've gotten it in. It's not every single name has a tartan. It was generally a Highland thing, and then in the 1820s, or 1840s, it sort of became a lowland thing-ish from the rush for everybody to, you know, claim their own tartan and that kind of thing. So it's evolved over time, but originally it was not every clan had a tartan. If you're a lowland clan, you didn't.
And not every name has a clan. Sometimes they're septs, too.
That's true.
That may also have a tartan that isn't woven, but they may not.
So, should this myth actually be written, every surname has a tartan?
Sure.
I would just almost go for everything has a tartan. There was recently one that was registered for it's like the Highland Goat Herders Association or something like that. And I think there's an equivalent like American Sheep Herders tartan that we came across recently too. And there is specifically a Scottish American Travel Agents tartan.
Yeah, but in a way, all of those kind of make sense when you get into like the more obscure stuff. Like, you know, my softball team needs to have a tartan, or, you know, I mean, why do you want one? I don't know.
Where do you then that begs the wider question and the broader question of where do you draw the line? You know, there's the BJ tartan, Beejay.
Oh, for the dog?
For my dead dog.
Yeah.
Is that too far? Is memorializing your pet, while, you know, on some level I understand it as a pet owner, on another level it's like, does it really require its own tartan? I don't know. I see both. I'm a little surprised it was actually registered, like it got past the register. But, you know, things like that exist.
Where I run into this a little bit more often is folks who assume just because something is registered, it must be woven. So, like, somebody has registered a tartan in their family name,
right,
just for themselves and maybe for their wedding. But 10 years later, they see it in the register. Okay, I'd like to get that. But not everything in the register is actively being woven. It may or may not be restricted.
Right. This is not spoon flour.
Yeah. If only you were here yesterday when we were asking everyone, hey, what myths and things did you know?
Yeah.
Have you heard that we can add to the list?
Sorry, I took a day off once in a while.
How dare you take your regular day off?
Back to your point, I don't see anything wrong at all with somebody designing a tartan for their dead dog, or their favorite flower, or their favorite cup of tea. I mean, you know, whatever.
It's pronounced cuppa.
Shut up. No, I lost my train of thought. Thank you very much. I'm going to throw this very pointy die at you.
Cup of tea, flower, dog.
Yeah, it's an art form, and if you want to engage in it, you engage in it. Now, registering it, he obviously felt it was worth the money to do that, so fine. I guess that was his memorial. He wanted everyone in the world, for generations to come, to know that his dog had a tartan.
I assume that his dog was a really good boy, though.
I'm sure.
He must have been a really, really good boy.
See, now but there you go. You could design a tartan, call it Good Boy Tartan, and, you know,
for all the
dogs,
dead dogs,
for dog lovers.
Yeah. No, but the question is then where are you watering down what it is, what it was, or, you know, so if it's meant to symbolize clan and family and things like that, then doing all of this is watering it down. You could also take the opposite viewpoint of it's the symbolism of whatever that matters, and the art form of it, and or, you know, just it has to evolve. Therefore, this is the next evolution in tartan versus the clan thing. So it depends on, to some degree, it depends where you fall on the scale of traditionalist versus non-traditionalist, or whatever the other end of the scale is.
Freeform.
Yeah.
Art lover.
Yeah. So how much do you protect it and insulate it, and how conservative are you with the culture and the heritage versus how freewheeling and fun and forward-moving and progressive are you within the culture?
No, I think you'd be on thin ice as a gatekeeper, Mr. American Dream.
I'm not saying I'm either. I'm saying, I'm saying that it's a question.
You do have to be careful that when you're protecting it, you're not smothering it, though.
Agreed.
Killing the the
Agreed.
tradition in the process.
Yeah.
So back to the myth itself, though. I do think the other thing is that people want to believe that their name has a tartan because they're very proud of their heritage. So it's kind of it's a disappointment based. It's almost like a denial. It's like, no, that's not true. That's impossible. Search your feelings, Luke. I think that it's like, well, I'm really Scottish. Both my grandparents came over on the boat. There's got to be a tartan for us.
And I would say not even necessarily Scottish. I'm English. What's my tartan? I'm German. What's my tartan? I'm this. What's my tartan? They just want, they know that clans or a name is associated with tartan. Therefore, what's mine?
Right.
And
Thinking of it like family crests,
yes,
kind of thing.
So you're
Well, and those are bullshit a lot of time too.
Yeah,
to be honest.
But it's often that we have to kind of burst a bubble or guide them to something else like a universal tartan. What I will say, think it back to my my discussions with House of Edgar, where the tartans themselves and Highland wear to a large degree is led by the industry, is led by the mills in the case of House of Edgar, coming up with different ideas and seeing what kind of catches on as a trend. In the same way, you could say kind of a similar or the same thing for universal tartans. It's people want to wear a tartan. People want to be associated with something. They don't necessarily just want to buy, ooh, I like that when it's pretty. They want it to mean something. Therefore, the industry, the broader industry, has kind of come up with universal tartans that anyone can wear and feel comfortable wearing, get over that mental hurdle, so to speak, but still have some kind of connection, like German heritage, American heritage, things that we've done, or Flower Scotland, or Irish National, or other countries have done as well.
I think a lot of those that the mills are doing, it's just the name is a catchy name. It's just marketing. Whereas your designs, not to sound like I'm kissing up, but you're trying to make like American heritage. Okay, I'm gonna have American flag colors in this, and so the name matches a meaning that's woven into the tartan itself. I don't think the mills always do that. They're just like, do we have a tartan named after thistles?
Skirl.
Yeah, okay, let's do thistle cut. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Blood on the shamrock. It's not. It's just marketing, I think, but.
Can be either one, of course.
It can.
Which one does the tail? Does the tail wag the dog, or does the dog wag the tail?
But then you're gonna have some people who are gonna like, well, okay, but I can tell you just made up a tartan,
and then slapped a name on it.
Slapped a name on
Yeah.
it. This doesn't actually mean anything. Not the way Macduff means something.
Right.
I more often am helping people find even tenuous sometimes connections with their surname to a sept of a clan. I was doing that on Monday. There was a guy,
or like a county for Irish.
Yeah, he asked it. This one guy asked if there was a Soul
Train tartan. No,
it was a comment on it. It was a comment. That would be freaking awesome.
Like yellow and purple.
I'm so down for that. Pun definitely intended.
Crest Wexford tartan.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man.
shut your mouth. That's Shaft.
The Shaft Memorial tartan.
All 70s references today. I broke Eric.
He totally did. Anyway, he was trying to find a tartan for his surname, which is related to MacDonald of the Isles.
Okay.
But it was like very tenuous track, and it was like I was like, okay, well, looks like it's probably you're in the Donalds area, with your tartan. So sometimes the connection is there, but you need to do a little research to find it. But no, not every family had a tartan. A lot of lowland families didn't have tartans. It wasn't a thing originally designed for them, and then became a thing because everybody wanted to play the game.
Yeah, originally
in the 19th century and forward.
Yeah, so. And originally believe it or not, Kilts and Highlanders were looked down upon. Those were the savages, the barbarians, if you will. So lowland families wanted to associate themselves more with their neighbors south of the border than their neighbors north of the Highlands, or north in the Highlands. So it kind of evolved when the king came in 22?
You mean George IV?
Yeah.
I think it was 1822, I think.
Yeah. When he came, and that entire event kind of like codified the, ooh, this is cool now. Oh, let's all do this. You got everyone on the bandwagon, so to speak.
Right. And that's your Walter Scott.
Yep.
Watershed moment kind of a thing.
Yep.
Do you think the current king wearing kilts so often is going to cause any sort of boom in our industry?
No.
Not to completely
think
derail, but
he's been wearing them all his life.
yeah,
A, he's been wearing them for a long time. B, he is a very good dresser. He knows what he's doing, but he is not as beloved as his mother. The support isn't there, so I think people are like, yeah, he looks good, but it's not like, yes, he is the trendsetter kind of thing. He knows what he's doing. He cuts a fine figure in it, but I don't think that will not be a boon to the industry so much as like, Braveheart or Outlander was.
Okay.
So what do you think? Do you want more? If you do, watch the full episode of Haggis Hunting by clicking on that link over there. If you'd rather listen to it in podcast form, go to your favorite podcatcher and search for USA Kilts for all of our content.